Hi, I'm so excited you guys are here today to get some stressless back to school tips. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start. And I am so happy you are here. I am energized and excited because I have a new program and some fun stuff to teach you today. Let me share my screen. Okay, so we are going to be stressless for back to school this year. We are going to stop some of the summer insanity and the out of control behavior. The parents that I'm talking to right now, like all your wheels are off the bus, the meltdowns, the misbehavior, the disobedience, the eye rolling, all of it. We are going to get a plan and get to a better place. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about me, my lens and view of the child parent experience is very unique in that I bring my pediatric occupational therapy background with me. And so that allows me to often see bad behavior in a parent's mind in, again, a view, the lens of the systems in the body and what could be an alarm going off in a child's body. And that is the cause of the bad behavior. So I am often interpreting bad behavior to a parent and saying, it's really not bad behavior. It just means they need something. There's something going on underneath their skin that they need help with. We need to address. And then their behavior can quickly look very different. So that is my lens. I have been helping parents and families for over 25 years. I have 3 kids of my own. I have a son who was 20, 2 daughters who are 18 and 15. And so I have been a trusted, resource for parents and families for a very long time. What you can expect today in our time together is about 45 minutes. And I want to be very clear in that you're going to get a lot of awesome content this morning. And it's all taken from my brand new Breakdown to Breakthrough program, which we're going to talk about that a little bit later. And you will get an opportunity to learn more about it. And there will be some exclusive things that you will get access to for being here today. Okay, so you are in the right place if you have a chaotic circus going on at your house right now, and if you're dealing with fights and meltdowns and defiance and disrespect and battles at bedtime, over bath time, all of it. And if you are dealing with it in a way and trying to solve it with so much screaming, if that's you, you are in the right spot. So what you're going to take away from today are 4 things. Remedy for hearing from kids. I'm so tired. I don't want to. I can't. I don't feel like it. And we're also going to talk about the signal system that God has given to each human and how we can use it to show up well with our kids. I'm also going to give you some hands-on movement, exercise, body-based actions that you can take today that will impact for better behavior. And then a number 1 tool to reduce stress. Okay, I'm going to start with, and we're going to handle our humanness, because the reality is God made us imperfect humans. So his default mode was we were going to have limitations and weaknesses, flaws, and imperfections. Now, why would he do that when he very easily could have made us perfect and patient and loving and kind all the time? Why would he make us imperfect? Well, he made us that way because he wanted to be on this journey. I call it an adventure with him. He wanted us to need him to do every single moment of our lives. And as parents, we do need him. And so we need his grace, we need wisdom, we need support on so many levels. We need him to give us our next breath. That's how much we need him. So whatever way you pray and can invite grace and help and support, do that. And I want you to know, all parents, we have this adventure is a big roller coaster. There's ups and downs, and sometimes we have lots of times, and sometimes we're in a season of there's no time. And so if you're in a season of waking up and you've got a small child, maybe inviting God's grace sounds like, Jesus, come with me today. And that's all you've got room for. That's all you need. He will still be there to support you in all of it. So invite him in. The second thing about being human is that we have lots of different systems that God gave us. We are a complex, sophisticated unit, body, soul, mind, spirit. And God very intentionally gave us systems in our body, our nervous system, our sensory system, where we take in all the information from the outside environment, our muscular system, how we can move and do what we need to do, our cardiovascular system, our coordination system. All of these are systems that I have in-depth training in, and understanding these systems. And again, what's operating for a child right underneath their skin in all these systems that often looks like bad behavior, that looks like defiance, that looks like disrespect, looks like a meltdown. But in my view of things, often it is just one of these systems that is not fully developed and mature. And so young kids, those first few years, the physical body and the components of it are growing and changing and developing. And there's bumps and there's glitches in those systems. And so that's what I help parents understand, is there might be a glitch in the system here, but your child is not intentionally trying to be mean. They are not intentionally trying to show up at the restaurant at mom's birthday party in, a terrible way. Usually there's something going on that a child's bad behavior is communicating to others. So last thing about being human is that we are human beings and not human doings. And so because I have been in the parenting space for so long, 25 years, I want you to know that what is normal parenting right now is not natural. I'm going to say it again. Normal parenting right now, if you've got young kids, this is all, like, you just got into this parenting space. You've got a 2-year-old. This is all you know. And that's no problem. It's not your fault. But what I want you to know is it is not natural to a lot of the components of a human being. Parents are functioning at a super fast pace. Lots of stuff on their schedule, and it's a lot. And so they're human doings and much less of just human beings. So today, my invitation would be that you could just be here and listen. And then also, what could you let be in your world at home? Could you just let be one of your kids' messy rooms that you just can't stand going in there? Could you let be a discipline issue that you and your husband maybe are trying to figure out, and there's some tension there? Could you just leave that, let it be? What other things that are on your mind in regard to parenting could you just let be? And we're not going to say that it's going to be this way forever. We're just going to take a little bit of stress off by just saying, you know what? This whatever annoyance, it can just be with me here today, and I can fix it tomorrow. I can think about it later. I'm just going to let it be. That's what we need to do more of as humans. Okay? Let's talk about the remedy for some of those annoying phrases we hear from our kids when they're laying on the couch, yet they're too tired to do anything else. So again, I am all about the body. I'm all about handling the body first and then kind of the brain. So Moms, you all have a fully mature, developed, well-functioning brain. It happens in our mid-20s, but we're often dealing with little bodies and 4, 5, 6, 10, and they don't have fully formed brains yet. And we talk to them like they can make good judgment and all of that, but they don't have the capacity. They aren't equipped for that in their brain yet. So I am always looking for ways that I can manage behavior in their body, because that's a very effective place to go at it. So the remedy for I'm too tired is what I like to call buttons. And so we're going to try to wake up and get the body awake and alert. And I want everybody, we're going to take from one hand, we're going to take our thumb. Let's take our thumb and our pointing fingers, and we're going to put it right on the junction of our collarbones. And this is just, again, I call this little exercise buttons. We're going to wake up the electrical circuits and buttons on our body. The other hand, you're going to put over your belly button. So actually place your hand there. You can just rest it on your clothes. And then you're just going to rub. Can y'all see that I'm just rubbing, again, these 2 points right at the base of my neck for 15, 20 seconds. So this is waking up all the circuits and the neurons and the synapses and all the stuff that we need to function well in our body. That's easy. You can teach your kids how to do it, and it works. Another remedy for I don't want to. This is so incredibly simple. This is often missing, especially with young kids, is water. Water, we are 75% water. And so we have got to have liquids that help everything move better throughout our body. And so our environment is constantly giving us information, and it's coming at us into our sensory system. It has to go from wherever we received it. If we touch something, if we see something, if we hear it, all of those neurons are sending a signal to the brain. The brain processes that, and then it sends it back out. Are we saying a response? Are we doing something with our hands? But all of that, for it to flow and be a smooth oiled machine, we need water. And so many young kids really don't like water. They'd rather have milk, they'd have juice, but we need water. So just incorporate a little more water, and that helps wake up our brains a little bit and our bodies. Okay. Wake up your brain. Okay. This one is a breathing technique, and there's a million different ways to breathe. This particular technique is what I like to call the box breath, like a box, 4 corners. And it's easy for children to know what this is. So it looks like we're going to inhale to the count of 4 for one corner of our box. We're going to hold that 4 breaths for a count of 4. And then we're going to exhale for another corner of our box. And then we're going to hold that exhale for 4. So this particular breathing technique is used by professional athletes. It is used by the Navy SEAL team. It is instantaneous improving our focus and our performance in the functioning of our body. It is waking up our system, and it's also at the same time de-stressing us, which there are some breathing techniques that will give you, relaxation only. This is the one I like that will both, it's calming, but also alerting, awakening our brain. So that is the box breath. Okay, this last one, super easy. I love it. I love this slide. Your remedy for I don't know is we are going to connect both sides of the brain through an exercise that I call crossies. So I'm going to sit up a little more so you can see me, but every human has an invisible line that goes down the middle of our body. It is called midline, and it is vitally important for connection of both sides of our brain. And it's super important in young kids that they can cross midline. Like, there are developmental skills that a lot of times kids cannot do if they cannot cross midline. I've helped many kids who will be writing on a piece of paper and there's a glitch in their system and they will stop at the midline of their body. Even if the page keeps going, even if there's an assignment to keep writing, it's almost like they don't see past this midline. So it's vital to understand it, and we are going to use it in crosses. So to get both sides of our brain instantly connecting and working well together, we are just going to cross that midline. So it can look like punch in the air. You can pretend like you're boxing. I like to do fun activities with kids. You could cross and pull your ear, check your earring if that's your thing. You could touch your shoulders. So every single time you do this, you cross midline, you are reconnecting the right and left sides of your brain. And that is always good for every single human. A lot of times I will have kids marching like a soldier. And then when their knees are up, I have them cross their arm to touch their opposite knee. So that is a way you could do it too. Okay, I'm super excited to talk to you about space because this is an area that a lot of moms don't even consider, and it is built and stamped into our bodies by God. So God built us with space. We have space to carry children in our womb, to grow a child. So it's who we are. It isn't something we do. It's the essence of us. And so we are sensitive to space. That's how God built us. We create space. We're all about creating a home that is warm and inviting and a backyard that is comfortable and safe for my kids to play. We are always working in space in some way, shape, or form. So I want you to be aware because it's invisible and it's intangible, but it is something that affects moms all the time. And so there are different types of space. There's our physical space. Yes, this is, a physical room, a house, a yard, whatever. There's also mental space. The majority of moms that I help, their mental space is maxed out. Like there's hardly any room, any space in there to add anything more. And so if you're a mom who showed up here today and you are allowing me to take a little bit of your mental space with some things to help you, thank you. I'm glad you're here. Mental space, very important. Okay, time space, temporal. This is super important too. So let me give you an example of how vital time space is in the operation of your family. Let's say, again, all humans are functioning at a really fast pace and we're always in a hurry. Parents are always dragging their kids. Come on, we got to leave for school. We're running late. And your kids have 2 minutes. Your 4-year-old has 2 minutes to get their backpack on, put their shoe on the right foot, and get out the door with you. So this can be stressful. This can be something the 4-year-old can't accomplish in 2 minutes by himself. So what if we expanded that space for 10 minutes? What if he had 10 minutes to wrangle his backpack on his shoulders? And what if he had 10 minutes okay, what if he puts his shoes on the wrong feet? Okay, he's got 10 minutes. He can put them on the right foot. And so when we learn about how we can play with that time space, how we can increase it, it allows for more wiggle room. Better for us. I'm not going to lose my patience. I'm not in such a hurry. I'm more available to the members of my family that I need to be. So that is time space. Emotional space. As moms, we catch all the emotional stuff. A lot of it lands on us and sits. Some of it can roll right off of us, but a lot of it we keep. And so how do you deal with that emotional space? And what do you do with it when it's full? So for me, I walk with a good friend several times a week, and we walk for about an hour. She dumps all her emotional stuff, whatever she needs to kind of, I call it empty the trash can, and we talk about it. And then I kind of do the same thing. And so what that does is, again, when I can create some emotional space, then I'm available to listen and be engaging with moms and families that I'm helping, and with my own kids and family members and friends. So just be aware of that emotional space. And then what do you need to be in a good place in regard to that space? Spiritual space, what do you need there? What does that look like to create a good place for you? Okay, very quickly, what can be done with space? We can hold space. We can expand space. We just talked about how we're going to expand time. That's expanding space. We can declutter. We can declutter our physical space, declutter our mental space. I declutter my emotional space when I'm walking with a friend. So what do we need to do there? Okay, this next one, collapsing space. Moms do this all the time. And I'm going to make you aware of it just so you can learn to hold this space more in a more firm way. So moms often collapse space, and it looks like sacrificing what you need to show up as the best you, because, my little one, I have to put him back to bed 17 times. I had an hour at the end of the day to read my book and take a bath and spend time with my husband, but I've collapsed my space, and my little one now consumes those 2 hours at the end of my day. So it's how we sacrifice. And again, it puts us in a position that we are not at our optimal best parent. And once you learn about space, you can figure out how to help your kids with space also. Last one, invade. So every child I know and every husband is a space invader. That's just what they do, right? They're in your space, they'll interrupt your space. And so again, what do you need to do to create a safe boundary around your space? Like, no, I really need this 30 minutes for myself. Nobody's invading it. What do you need? What does that look like? Okay, so we have talked about 3 of the 4 things, and I want you to know that I'm saving the very last tip and tool that every single human always gets a benefit and is calming to their system. I'm going to save it till the last, and we're going to get started talking about my new program. But can anybody relate to this? Feeling out of control in your house, screaming? I mean, you have moments of when it's calm and you're like, yes, I did it. It's working. And then the next thing you know, it's back to how it was. And are you dreading just the chaos and the day after day of defiance and disrespect and meltdowns? So I get it. I want you to know there is absolutely a better way. I've been helping parents find this better way for a very long time. I talk to schools, I talk to parent groups, I am on the radio and TV, and I write publications. And so again, I have been a trusted expert here for a very long time. And I want you to know that you can trust me, that I'm always going to be committed to you, committed to your kids, committed to a godly way of raising children and that child-parent experience. Here is a testimonial that a mom said recently. She was on vacation with her family in Colorado. Her 4-year-old was out of control, screaming, throwing things, would run away from them in public. I mean, pure hell for them. And so a friend recommended me, said, call Kelly, she'll help. The mom hesitated, and this is so just typical of moms. She didn't want to admit that she had no control over her small little kid. And oftentimes we don't. She didn't want to look, inadequate, or I don't have what it takes, or what's wrong with me. But you would never find that working with me, because that's the exact reason I'm here to help you. So in 1 hour, we did a 1-hour Zoom call, and I gave them probably 4 or 5 different things to try with this little girl. And 24 hours later, the mom texted it and she said, okay, how is it that we have a totally different child today? And it was me helping them understand what that screaming and throwing things and running away actually meant and how to deal with it. And what it produced was a different child and a different ending to their vacation. So I can help you too. Okay, so quickly, we are just going to talk about breakdown to breakthrough. There are 5 learning modules. I want you to know what you are getting. The first one is starting powerfully and 5 elements of heavenly parenting. Our second module, we are going to dive deep into the misbehavior and the meltdowns. Again, that human body, all those systems, the sensory system. I have lots of moms who understand their sensory. They've done their sensory profile. You can find that on my website. And they're like, okay, we were good. And then they find me again because their sensory sensitivities or the preferences of their child change. And that's a part of it. So now what do I do? So we're going to dive deeper in this particular module and learn more about our nervous system and more about how we can set our kids up better for success and also ourselves. Module 3, putting an end to power struggles. This is always a dynamic with families, and it's amazing how quickly that power struggle can be just dissolved. And moms are often like, wait, what? How did that happen? It's usually a mindset shift for the mom, but I'm actually coming at it with the child in a body set way. So not so much the mindset, right? Because they don't have the capacity for that. So we're doing body set things for the child, but it's easy to get you a different result. Module 4, temper tantrums, angry outbursts. I want to give you a new dynamic, a new way to show up. And it is not difficult for you to learn. Most parents, when their child is escalated and having a temper tantrum, the parent ends up at the level of the child, not intentionally, but you're aggravated, the child won't stop screaming, they're flailing around, and the next thing you know, you have met them in their crazy, is what I like to say. So what if you could show up in a neutral, calm way? Even just showing up to their escalated tantrum, if you're calm, it brings them down. Even in your presence, if you said not one single word, your energy, your body language is helpful. So I'm going to give you several ways to, again, get rid of the temper for you and tame and temper that anger. There is such an easier way to deal with those tantrums. The last module is the promise of a peaceful home. We're going to pray and play. And if you know me, you know I love to play. God created play for us, for adults and kids, and we need more of it in our lives. We're so accomplishment and achievement driven, but we need to be more into play. And so we're going to do lots of fun play stuff. Play is the operating system your child runs on. That is how they are to learn. They learn faster. They learn more effectively. That is how they connect. That is the way to truly connect and learn the most about your child is through play. Okay. So now I just want everybody to just stop and breathe for a moment. And I want you to just close your eyes. And we're going to think about what could it be like if you had it all your way in parenting? Like, what if you could look forward to every day with your kids? What if it could look like listening and sharing and well-behaved kids who cooperate? Can you paint a picture of that in your mind? What does that look like for you? What does a peaceful home look like for you? Where your kids respect you, respect your time, your space. What does it look like? Now I want you to look at each of your kids individually. how you're interacting with them. Each of those kids is a pure gift from God. Total miracle. And so it's amazing how we bring them home from the hospital, these miracles, this gift from God, and we just stare at them all the time. And we just can't, it doesn't matter if they throw up on us, if they smell, if they poop on us, if we have to stay up all night and lose all our sleep, we don't care. They're just the cutest things. And then 2 years later, 3 years later, guess what? We are miserable and they are monsters. Anybody have that going on ever? So our miracle turned into the monster, and I don't want it to be that way. So I just want you to, again, just paint a picture of each of your kids and what it could look like if you were having a loving, connected interaction with them. Think of how amazing that would feel in your home. Now, I know you're probably saying to yourself, yeah, well, that would never happen in my house, and here's why. It might work for some people, but my kids, you haven't met my kids, and mine are the worst of the worst. Or I've read all the books, nothing works. I've tried it over and over again, nothing's working. Or, you know what, my kids are older and it's just too late. They're probably going to be in prison or they're going to be living in my basement. So we just can't really fix it. And this is who they are, right? It's doom and gloom. Or I often hear, well, I don't have time. I don't have time. I'm overwhelmed. Okay, these last two they just kill me because parents, you are so busy doing the same exact thing that isn't working over and over and over. And that's actually the definition of insanity. When we keep doing the same thing over and over again and thinking it's going to change something. So parents are super busy doing all of these behaviors, patterns with their kids that are not helpful. They're actually harming their kids, confusing to your kids, not creating a dynamic of love and connection. So that is what we are going to tackle in this course. Again, it is called Breakdown to Breakthrough. This is the accumulation of all of my 25 years of experience and all of my training put into a form that is more easier consumed by you. So I have for the last year been working really hard to figure out a way to get you parents what you need in the easiest, most effective, efficient way. And this is it. So we are going to break down what are the bad behaviors. We have to dissect them. We have to decode them. We have to figure out what are the signals that this child is giving me before we can break through to a better place. But it's absolutely possible. I've been doing it for 25 years. And so parents, you just need support. You need somebody to help you dissect those pieces so you can get to a better place. Here's a little bit of the nuts and bolts of it. You're going to get a weekly group coaching call. There is going to be on-demand support. And there's going to be 5 learning modules. We're going to do some interactive worksheets and also some activities. So it's going to start Monday, September 16th is when the first module video will drop. And then our first group coaching call will be later that week on September 19th. Now, why in the world would I wait until mid-September? Like it's August 1st and you need help now. You need help with the problems and the challenges with your kids now. So I intentionally chose the middle of September because I know how bumpy that transition time is with the start of school. And I help kids who are in private school and homeschool and public school and a church preschool. So I'm well acquainted with all of it. And that bumpiness of the start of school with young children is normal. And they're exhausted. There's so much new stuff, that information and input coming at their little bodies. They're trying to figure out what to do with all of it. They're exhausted. You guys are exhausted trying to learn the new schedule, the new carpool routine. How do I sign up for snacks again? You're bombarded with the new stuff also. Again, that is all normal. And every parent, just give yourself grace. That is the one thing I can say from today until mid-September. Give yourself grace. It's bumpy. It's a learning curve, and you'll be fine, and you'll get to a smoother, kind of structured, you'll get your routine down, and everyone will be less exhausted and more available and open for kind of normal family life after about a month. So that's why I'm starting later in September. Now, I do want to tell you, and Julie, who's on today, and she helps me with all the tech stuff. I want to add a bonus of giving a group call starting next week until the September start time, because I don't want you to feel like you have been abandoned. We've done this webinar today and you're all excited. Oh my gosh, you're going to get help. You've got a few tools here today to help you, but I would like to give you more support because I know you need support. So if you get signed up for this program, you will get a group weekly coaching call from next week until we get started in the more structured group. Okay, so all of this content today that came from my Breakdown to Breakthrough course, and that is, the accumulation of my experience with my own kids and 25 years of helping others. The regular price would be $29.47. For today, launch price, we are going to do $19.47, okay, with a one-time payment, or a more flexible $9.97 for 2 payments. Okay, we are going to do some bonuses. First one, a live one-on-one call with me. This is the best way for me to learn about you and your family, and we can hit the ground running on your specific concerns when we start the group calls in September. So this is a great bonus. This one, Soothing Separation Anxiety course. So this is a go at your own pace, a video course. It's probably less than an hour all in, but it gives you the essential components of separating from your kids well. So if you've got a young child going to preschool and you try to leave them in the church nursery, and that's a disaster because they're clinging to your leg and they've got a death grip around your neck. There are 5 components that, if you thought about these, it almost makes separating from your kids no problem. So this is a bonus that's included. This is a fun one. Okay, this is a Bestie Moms Margarita group call. So you get to find 4 of your friends, up to 5 total, and we are going to do a Zoom call. And I want to give you support in real life, in your real life, and who you're doing your life with. And so I help families all over the globe, and I want to connect with people that you're close to, because you're standing on the sideline of the soccer field with people, and you're, getting a little group of girls in their ballet tutus and their little shoes. And so if you have other moms who have tips and clues from me for help, they can help you stay accountable and help you have a better experience overall for, again, the people that you're doing life with. And that's how I want you to be supported. Okay, our last limited time bonus is the Simple 6 program. This is 6 separate skills that every child needs for development and growth to be a well-adjusted, independent, functioning, young adult. And so you will get a little checklist at the end of this program. And it's just 6 things that you can check off every day. Okay, did I work on this particular system? Did I think about this? Did I think about that? And it will make sure that you're on the right track for helping your child develop and establish all the things they need to as they're growing. Okay, so here's the lowdown. And basically this is outdated now, right? Because I just changed it to say I'm going to throw in a month or 4 or 6 more weekly coaching group calls so that you guys will be supported from next week till we start in September. So it's probably closer to $4,000 for all of the value that I will bring to you. So, but again, for today, our introductory price is going to be $19.47. Here is the link right here that you can see what that entails, all those bonuses, probably close to over $600 for you. So I am thoroughly committed, as I have been for years, to helping you parent in a way that is enjoyable and fun and helps you be connected to your kids. And I'm committed to helping you right now in the moment with the meltdown, and for you to know that everything I'm going to give you to do in the moment right now to stop that meltdown is also going to be fostering a good relationship for later. I think this is also something that is different for me. A lot of parenting people will help you in that moment, maybe get 100% obedience, 100% compliance. But are they helping you for when your child is, 14 and 24? That is always my goal. I'm never losing sight of you having a connected, valuable relationship with your child when they are 40 years old. And so you don't have to think about that, but I'm going to be, just so you know. You don't have to tackle it. It's on my plate to be on the lookout for. Okay, so here was the last thing. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, this is so fun, and you're going to be amazed how well this works. We're going to do it with our hands, and it has to do with our sensory system, and it has to do with calming our nervous system. Okay, almost every human today on the planet has a nervous system that is dysregulated. It's our lifestyle, it's our environment, it's too much screens, we don't eat as healthy as we should, we don't move our bodies as much as we should. And so that means that the systems in our body that God created to be kind of settled and regulated, they aren't. They're usually a little unsettled. And so we're going to do something for our proprioceptive sense. And it's a big old word, and it means basically pressure to our muscles and our joints. So you can do this with your hands today, and that you can help your kids with their hands. And you can actually put your hands against your child's hand, and it is effective. So there's different ways we're going to do it. Let's start with like praying hands. And we're just going to push as hard as you can. Push one hand against the other one. Okay, you should be able to feel the pressure that is going through your hands, through all the bones and the joints in your wrist, up your elbow, into your shoulder and back. And so that feeling of pressure is what calms our nervous system. There are other senses in our body, and when we give them input, can have an adverse effect. It could make us overstimulated. But for body awareness or proprioception, it is never not a good thing. So you could do this for anybody, any human, any age, ever. And it gives a positive, calming, de-stressing feeling in their body. So I spoke last week to a mom's group, and there were 3 pregnant women, and like big pregnant. One of them, so I brought them down front, and one mom she had her baby this week, and a couple other of them are due within a month. So we were all practicing these exercises, but these pregnant moms, I just wanted to see what their reaction was and what would happen with their babies. So they were putting pressure on their hands. You can do it. You can just do fingertips also. Put pressure just for 15 seconds, 20 seconds, pressing as hard as you can, feeling it in your hands, your elbows up to your shoulders, and then you release it. So these pregnant moms instantly felt calm, a little bit better in their nervous system. But what happened with those babies, their babies were suddenly very active and moving and doing all kinds of movements. And so again, moms, we hold a lot of stress. We're holding a lot of stuff for the people that we love. And it doesn't feel, we've become used to those feelings of stress, and it feels like normal. So these pregnant moms who were just releasing and calming their nervous system in this 15 or 30 seconds, it relaxed them enough that their babies were like, oh, hey, what's going on? Is there a party here? We can move around. And so they did. And so it was just evidence of how quickly it will impact a baby that's in the space in your body. And it also has the same effect for your young kids that you are dealing with every day. So another way we could do it is we could hook one finger or two fingers, and we're trying so hard to pull them apart. Okay, you could easily teach a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old if they are sitting in church or you're sitting in a restaurant and they start to get fidgety and they really want to leave and they're thinking about smacking their sister, but you could have them do this, and it's calming and it settles them until you can get on to the next thing. Okay. So fingers, hands, pressure up your joints, and it will help you. Thank you very much for your time today. And please share. Let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, check out the program. Thank you.